ito yung structure, no? Ito yung result nung neto. So this one is just statically structured. Ito yung nakita nyong task dito. So we also have list, list, list. So para saan yung icon? Ito yung fa-remove, which is etong x na to. Alright, so I hope that it makes sense. So ngayon, kahit ipindutin mo yan, kung walang function, hindi yan mangyayari. Walang mangyayari unless kailangan matutunan mo yung JavaScript na programming language kasi siya yung may kakayanan para ma-manipulate at magkaroon ng interactive yung application. Kasi HTML and CSS just static. Alright, so I hope that it makes sense. So we're done discussing this get element by ID. Alright, so we're going to focus on querySelector. So I will discuss what is the difference between the querySelector and get element by ID. Alright, so in this case, siguro I'm going to add a comment, no? Right? So, kasi importante yung comment para at least alam nyo kung para saan yung bawat lesson. So in this case, pangalanan ko siya na, sige, lagyan ko muna na para mas mabilis. Alright, so may nagpapa-admit ata. Yeah, so si Paolo. Alright, so yeah, so after the document, merong tinatawag na, meron pa ulit. Si Miles. Alright, so welcome for those who just kakarating lang. Alright, so we have a document. So nandoon yan sa lesson about the document. So just give you recap kung para saan yung document. Yung sinabing document, siya yung mismo document nyo sa HTML. Alright, yun yung ibig sabihin ng document. Alright, so you can manipulate that. So for example, open ko yung developer tool ko using inspect. Alright, so punta ko kay console. So console is to test yung mga codes. Alright, so for example, click ko, diba? Document. Alright, so as you can see, nung tinawag ko yung document dito sa console, nag-highlight yung buo na to. So katunayan na this document is siya yung mismong mga element tags na in-structure natin dun sa HTML file natin. Alright, so style tag, wait lang, ito, body tags. Kung ano yung nakalagay dito, yun din yung nakalagay dito. So basically, yung document, madaling salita, siya yung buong structure. Okay, so I hope that it makes sense. So ngayon, we're going to just add a method. So si document, merong tinatawag na method na querySelector. Alright, so querySelector was indeed a method, kaya meron siyang parenthesis. At saka makikita nyo, kapag in-over nyo, nakalagay dito, a method, parent node, querySelector. So pwedeng, ito yung mga sa parameter niya. Alright, so ibig sabihin, kahit pwede niyang makuha. So querySelector, ibig sabihin, you can query anything dun sa loob ng isang document. So which is yung document natin is yung create nating structure. Hindi katulad ng get element by ID, you're going to fetch an element by ID. Alright, so discuss ko yan yesterday. Alright, so let's just focus on querySelector. Alright, so I will comment this one para at least yan yung example. Alright, so what I did here is just kinonsole ko. Sige, tanggalin ko na lang para i-codes ko mismo talaga sa inyo. So I'm going to console.log. So which is, alam niyo yung console.log to print yung output dun sa console natin. Alright, so sino yung ipiprint natin? For this example, I'm going to print the document. So specifically, dun sa document. Kasi kapag document, ibibigay niya sa iyo itong buo na to. Alright, so merong method na querySelector. So pag sinabing method, meron siyang certain behavior. So that's why meron siyang parenthesis. Ibig sabihin, meron siyang kayang gawin sa behavior. In this case, kahit daw na, kahit object yan, kahit ba ito? Not an object, but it's a, let's say, element tag by ID, by classes. So ganun si querySelector. So si querySelector has one argument. So kailangan nasa string siya. Kung kukunin mo is yung mga element. So in this case, I wanted to get an element which is with a task title. So basically, yung task title natin, so Punta tayo dito. Let's look for a task title. Ito. Alright? So, yung task title natin, siya yung madaling salita. Siya yung H5 na merong ID of task title na merong output na task. So, sa madaling salita, ito siya. Alright? Baguhin nga natin yun. Hindi ko gusto yung color na. Comment ko na lang muna lahat ng ito. Alright. So, para bumalik siya sa normal. No? Alright. Which is hindi siya decent. Alright. So, again, so ang i-fetch natin or i-query natin is yung H5 na merong task, which is ito siya. Alright. Sa output. So, by querySelector. So, kapag querySelector, you should just, it's either, kunin mo siya by element. Pero kasi, kapag by element, what if kung meron mo pang ibang H5 sa isang document mo? So, basically, lahat ng H5 na yun makukuha. Pero by its ID or by classes, so mas more specific. So, for example, this one. Create lang ako dito ng another, let's say H5. Diba? Tapos, lagay ko dito, test. Alright? So, ngayon, lalabas siya dito. So, task and test. Ngayon, kapag fetch mo siya by H5, kung ano yung gagawin mo, yung sasabihin mo dun sa pag-fetch mo na yun, tatamaan silang dalawa. So, parehas yung magiging output. Which is, I don't want to parang gusto ko yung ang i-fetch ko lang na specific is si H5 lang na merong ID of task title. Na yung output niya or text node or text value is task. Alright? So, I hope that it makes sense. So, I'm going to use this task title. I will copy. Alright? Oops. Then, let's balik tayo dito. So, dahil we're using querySelector. Tapos, ID siya. Right? ID siya. Right? So, yung katumbas ng ID is hashtag. So, you should put an hashtag or number sign, then put the task title. So, ako ang ginawa ko is kinapi ko na lang yung ID value, which is yung task title. Kasi kapag kinodes ko mamaya, magkaroon pa ako ng parang human error na nagkamali ako ng dash or spelling. Kakaroon na ng error yung program niya. So, right now, let's just console, no? Kung ano yung, to. Check natin dun sa console, inspect element. Tignan natin output. So, click natin console. Alright. So, basically, we already get or na-console natin yung mismong H5 na merong ID of task with a value of task. So, ano ba yung purpose nun? By doing those querySelector, get element by ID, you can manipulate. Okay, si JavaScript, it's a browser or a front-end programming language that pwede niyang i-manipulate kahit ano dito. Alright, so I hope that it makes sense. So using those mga element ay yung mga method and property. So next pa natin. So for example, using querySelector, ang gusto ko naman is yung card title. So card dash title kasi dumami na yung Ayan. So basically, close ko siya. So ang gusto ko naman i-fetch or kunin is si card title, which is sa output, siya yung task list. So ito siya. Task list siya. Siya yung madaling salita, siya yung span natin sa loob ng card content. Okay, so ang gagawin ko is just copy this. So, card title. Pero kanina, ID, eto class. So, kapag class, instead of hashtag, ang gagamitin mo naman is dot. Ang katumbas ng class is dot and paste in the card title. And then, let's just, for now, i-console natin siya and see kung nakuha natin siya by querySelector. So, the console, double check. So, yan. We were able to get those elements using querySelector. Alright? And also, hindi lang ID by ID ang kaya niyang kunin or by class. We can also use yung actual na element. So for example, we have an H5. Alright, so basically, meron tayong H5 kanina, di ba? Pinakita ko sa inyo kanina. Saan na ba siya? Excuse me. H5. Yan. So basically, siya rin yun. Alright, so si task. Ngayon, save natin yon. Check natin yung output. So, we can able to, diba? To fetch an element using querySelector, pero by its, element, hindi by ID. So, that's the good thing about querySelector. So, it's a new method sa JavaScript. So, instead of using getElement by ID, pwede nyo gamitin yung querySelector, but at least alam nyo kung paano siya ginagamit. O what is the difference between getElement by ID and querySelector. Alright, so let's just continue. So ngayon sir, ano ba yung purpose kung bakit kinukuha natin sila? So, sige, I'll just give you an example kung paano at ano yung purpose niya. So right now, we can just target against in document natin then using querySelector. Alright, so it was a method kaya meron siyang parentheses. Let's query the li. Tingnan niyo. Meron tayong list dito. Ito. So siya yung may content of list item na meron child of a tag and icon. Right? So siya yung kunin natin. So li. So pwedeng by element, right? Basta nasa loob siya ng isang string. Then ano din yung gusto natin gawin? So we can add a style, right? Then, what kind of style daw? It's a property of color is equal to a value of red, for example. And save. So, kung mapapansin nyo, na-manipulate na natin yung element natin. So, napalitan natin dynamically. Alright? So, ibig sabihin, kapag sinabing dynamic, ito yung actual na code sa structure. Pero using JavaScript, pwede natin silang ma-manipulate. So, ibig sabihin, document object model. So, DOM manipulation ang tawag doon. So, document object model manipulation. So, mina-manipulate natin kung ano yung gusto natin mangyari based on JavaScript kung paano natin so let's say, kapag pinindot, katulad ng sinabi ko sa inyo, let's say, sinubmit, meron certain part kung ano yung mangyayari. Alright? So, ito muna yung mga first, kasi I don't want to just jump into the, pinaka malaking view tapos hindi nyo naiintindihan. Alright? So, mas mahirapan ako explain. So, much better just be patient on learning tapos kumpara saan. Then eventually, may isip, kaya pala, para ganito pala yun. Alright? So, I'm going to continue. No? So, we can also do like this one. So, we have a document dot querySelector. Right? So, querySelector, tulad na sabi ko sa inyo, has a parenthesis na siya. Kasi, meron siyang behavior or it's a method. So, pwede nyo rin kunin by parent. So, meron tayong UL. Alright? Kasi kapag li lang, so basically, kapag querySelector, siya yung pinakauna na malalagyan. Alright? So, pero pwede mo rin gawin na pag target is UL. So, siya yung parent. Tapos, targeting ko yung li. Alright, so I just give you an idea na pwede rin yung ganung way of pag-fetch or pag-query ng isang selector. Alright, so I'm going to just add a style. So, let's say color din. So, instead of red, gawin ko siyang blue. Alright, then save. Let's check kung ano mangyayari. Tagal magana. Refresh. Oops, sabi niya dito. Yeah. Encode type error cannot read property of has attribute of null. Alright, so global shortcut. What may global shortcut of? Tingnan natin gawin itong ibang property na to. Background. ULLI. Alright, style, then background, so blue, try natin. ayan. Yeah. So, basically, nag-work siya. So, pero ibig sabihin, I think dapat, kapag color, it's here text, dapat ano niya ano ba yan? I-override na yung una. So, try nga natin. Ayan, talaga, hindi niya. Ayan, na-override niya. Pero sabi niya dito, okay, so yung font awesome ko siguro. There's a problem with font awesome. Ayan na. Hindi siya naglo-load. Yung icon ko. Ito. Font awesome ko. Ito. Font awesome. Siguro because of my internet. Are you still there? Puta, wala na pala Kaya pala wala pala ako ng internet. Wala na pala akong kausap. Hello? Guys, kanina pa akong sasalita. Nawala na pala ako ng internet. And sorry. Don't worry, naman siya, naka-record. Okay? Are you still there? Rinig niyo ako?
Yes, sir.
Ayun, good.
Yes, sir.
Alright. So, saan part yung bigla naputol? Kasi hindi ko na-notice bigla na lang nagsasalita ako. Tapos paglipat ko ng screen, kinakausap ko kayo, biglang wala na pala ako internet. Sige, saan naputol? Anong part? Yung na-miss out niyo?
Yung sample ng query, sir, nung query, yung may IL ba yun?
Okay. Okay, ULLI. Ayun, so medyo malapit lang din pala. Naputol lang, tas biglang bumalik ulit. Alright, good, sige. So, yun. So, basically, ito, UL and LI. So, in-override natin from red, ginawa natin blue. Then, save this one. Check natin. Ayan. Alright. So, yung nag-error kanina, it's wala pala. Sorry. Yung nag-error kanina, kasi because of my internet pala. Okay? Kasi kapag yung font awesome, wala kang internet, hindi siya mag-work. Okay? Yun pala yung nakita kong unang error. Tapos mamaya-maya biglang nawala na kayo. Wala na pala akong kausap. Ayan. Ayan. So, basically, yan. So, we just querySelector using yung particular na yun, yung sinasabi ko. So, instead of directing the LI, so, pwede mong i-fetch yung selector or an element by yung parent. So, from parent, then yung parent. So, we have a UL, then meron tayong LI sa baba. So, yun. I hope that naintindihan nyo. Kasi baka mamaya makonfuse kayo, bakit ganun yung pag-fetch? Right? So, how about the we can able to manipulate yung LI. Alright? Pero yung unang LI lang. So, itong LI na to, napalitan natin ng red, querySelector. Pero ito, LI, napalitan natin ng blue. Paano kung gusto kong palitan is yung pangalawa, pangatlo, at saka pangapat. Alright? So, meron tinatawag na end child or last child, end child. Mga tipong gano'n. So, I will show you how to do that. So, document that. querySelector. So, it was a method. Meron siyang parentheses. Then, dapat nasa loob siya ng isang string. So, we have an li. So, for example. Then, using that last child. So, ang tawag dito is pseudo class. Yeah, something like pseudo class. So, kailangan meron kang colon. So, ibig sabihin, yung li, kasi babasahin niya na, yung li mo, hindi lang isa yung li mo. So, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so basically sa output, list. So, meron tayong 4. So, ngayon, kung gusto natin ma-manipulate yung sumunod na list or yung last, no? So, for example, ang gusto kong malagyan ng ibang, let's say, property is yung last na li natin. So, kailangan, kapag dineclare mo yung li, naglagay ka ng colon para sa, it's a pseudo class o pseudo element, something like that. No? Yun yung para makuha natin yung last. Then, just add a last dash child. So, ibig sabihin, itong li na to, ang gusto niyang kunin is yung last child. So, basically, yung pinaka-last na child. So, sino yung last na child? Ito yung pinaka-nasa dulo. Right? Kasi ito yung pinaka-parent, UL. Alright? Tapos meron siyang siblings, which is pare-pareha sila na li. Alright? So, once you done and nakuha mo na siya, so you can just add a property of style, then let's say for this example, just add a property of color, tapos lagyan din natin siya na is equal to. Right, so let's say gusto rin natin red. Alright, so basically magiging red na rin yung class. So sir, how about the how about yung nasa yung pangalawa at pangatlo, meron bang second child o first child and so on? Right, so let's continue. So meron tinatawag na int child. So yung int child by number na. Right, so I will copy na lang para mabilis. So edit ko na lang siya. So li, so instead of last child, meron tinatawag na int. So int das child. So yung int child, naghahanap na siya ng number. So kailangan mo ng parentheses. So in this case, for example, 3. So save natin. So instead na 3 red, gawin natin, let's say cyan. So we're using materialize naman. Cyan. Check natin. Ayan. So pang 3 siya, yun yung na-manipulate natin. So basically, by number, so 1, 2, 3. Right, so ito siya, lumabas siya. So kapag yung pangalawa, so simple lang. You can change it into 2. Tapos para makita natin, we can change to purple. Yeah, alright. So basically, that's the way of paano technically ma-manipulate yung document by querySelector. Alright, so let's continue. We can also do just not a color, pero pwede natin siyang palitan ng text node. Alright, so I will do coding, querySelector para this mas hindi lang copy. Alright, so ngayon ang kukunin ko is what if kung gusto ko siyang palitan ng text. Alright, sino? So si in child 4. So right now, ito kunin ko siya. O yung 2 na lang. Sige. I will copy this one. Which is ang output niya is list item. Yeah, if not mistaken. Siya yung merong purple. Ayan, so yung pangalawa yung purple. Pero yung text node niya, ang nakalagay is list item. So in this case, I wanted to change it to ibang text. So, pwede kong tawagin yung property na text content. Then, followed with equal sign. Parang ina-assign mo siya with another text. So, let's say, hello world. Right? Then, save. So, napalitan na siya as a hello world. Okay? And, of course, mawawala yung niya dito. Yung icon niya dito. So, parang kung titignan nyo, parang meron kasing nagtanong sa akin ng student ko last night. Sabi niya, sir, parang, naintindihan ko yung kung ano yung tinuturo mo. Pero parang, sir, para saan ba yung, kailan ko gagamitin yung mag-change ako ng mga property, color, using JavaScript? Pwede naman natin gawin yun sa CSS. Diba? Or sa Materialize, pwede naman natin gawin. Alright, so ganito yan. Sabi ko sa kanya yung explanations, it's a good question. So basically, kapag dinesign mo siya or ginawa mo siya with the HTML and CSS, static yun. Kapag sinabing static, hindi siya dynamic or hindi siya interactive. So yung ginagawa natin, this was just an example, na kapag let's say may pinindot tayo, biglang merong mag-change ng behavior. Which is, ang meron lang kayang gumawa nun, it's a programming language, which is, ang front end is si JavaScript. Alright? Hindi katulad ng kapag HTML and CSS, kung ano yung structure mo, static, ibig sabihin, wala siyang movement. Kung ano na yung dinesign mo, yun na yun. So, I hope that it makes sense. So, that's why I just wanted to explain it. Kasi parang, di ba, parang, alright, so, ganun lang pala yung JavaScript. Pwede naman palang magpalit-palit, pwede naman natin gawin dun sa HTML. So, this one is dynamic. Kasi ang gagawin natin sa susunod, we're going to create a function. Tapos ilalagay natin yung mga natutunan natin sa loob. So that kapag pinindot yung function na yun, which is nakalagay sa button, merong mag-run na certain behavior. Alright, so I hope that naintindihan. Alright, so just kindly, parang be patient dun sa mga bagay na dinidiscuss natin kasi meron tong purpose. Okay? So how about the, gusto natin ma-manipulate yung add and even. Alright, so yung add and even dito sa li natin will be add even. Ayan, so yung add natin is yung una tsaka yung pangatlo, tapos yung even natin is yung pangalawa tsaka yung pang-apat. Alright, so add and even. So let's do that. Paano natin ma-manipulate yun? Alright, so I'm going to just copy, no? Then edit na lang. Alright, so instead, kasi ang gagamitin pa rin natin is in child. However, instead na number yung ilalagay natin, we can do add. Okay? Then, instead of text content, I just wanted to be siguro if style and background. Gusto ko mapalitan sila ng background. Right? So, wala namang background na hello world. So, let's see, you can use, hex color. So, let's say, CCC for parang light gray. Alright? So, ngayon, kapag sinave natin to, check natin, yung odd, alright, so, basically, siya yung una, tsaka yung pangatlo. Yung even is 2 and 4, tama? So, sir, bakit ang sabi mo is odd? So, punta tayo dito. Bakit hindi niya tinamaan yung sumunod sa kanya, or parang 1 at saka 3, tas yung even is 2 and 4, diba? So, bakit yung una lang? Alright, kasi we're using querySelector. Alright, so magkaiba yun. So, meron tinatawag na querySelector all, na kapag tinarget mo tong odd and even, lahat tatamaan. Or we can do looping, kasi madami eh. Alright, so ganun nag-work yung pagpo-program. Hindi porket sinabi natin na add is basically lahat ng add tatamaan, lahat ng even tatamaan. Alright, so ganito yon si querySelector. Alright, so let's move on with, let's try to use the even naman para makita natin. Oops. Alright, so instead of odd, we can do even. So, palitan natin ito ng kulay para at least manotice natin. So, let's use cyan. Check natin. Refresh. Oops. Open natin with done. Hindi siya nagpalit.
Yung may letter D dun sa even, sir.
Ayan. Alright. So, thank you. So, hindi ko So, well, the good, yan, no? So, pati yung mga case, no? Sensitive, tapos yung spellings, and so on. So, kailangan perfectly tama. Kasi hindi mag-run kapag merong something wrong. Right? So, I hope that it makes sense. Sa programming, ganyan, perfectly dapat tamang-tama yung eco-codes. No? Alright? So, thank you with that. No? So, let's continue dun sa yeah. I think we're done with the querySelector. Alright, so I will cut na siguro muna yung lesson kasi medyo mahaba na. Then we're going to continue.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, since medyo pumasok lang sa isip ko, kung halimbawa may list ka po, diba? Tapos you're going to choose one list among them, diba? Paano kapag kunwari nag-hover-over yung mouse mo, tapos gusto mo ma-highlight pag nag-hover-over mo yung list number 1 o kaya list number 2, ganun. Anong command dun, sir?
Alright, so basically, kung parang for the design lang yung gusto mo, yung magkaroon lang ng hover, okay, kasi yung your question is more parang in general, no? So, i-ano ko siya, i-breakdown ko siya dun sa mga small pieces. Kung ang gusto mo lang is just to kapag mag-highlights kapag hinover mo, okay? So, meron tinatawag na components na or gawa na para doon. Okay? Pero yeah, just I'll give you an idea. So just give a minute, no. I will open the browser for you to saan na ba yun? I think this one. Para pakita ko sa'yo. Alright? Kasi parang meron ako naisip na, ay, pwedeng sagot doon. Alright? So, basically, pinoprogram yun. Pero kung yun lang yung specific na gusto mong mangyari kapag hinover mo, magkakaroon lang ng highlights. So, materialize was created na yung mismong ganong effect. Okay? Kasi yung gagawin natin is, yung plano natin is more specific, is i-manipulate natin. Pero for yung specific na yun, merong tinatawag na collection. Alright? Ito. So, So ito, instead na i-program mo ng ganito, i-codes mo ng JavaScript, meron ng tinatawag na materialized CSS na components na lang na dinevelop niya na. So ito, tatawagin mo na lang by its class name. So let's say, just highly wait na gano'n siya. Tagal mag-load nangyari? Open with live server. Ayan, started at 4. Source, open, extension. Don't show again. Ayan, alright? So yun. So ito, kung gusto mo lang na kapag hinighlights mo, hover yung ganito, so you can use...
Ayan sir, yan.
Kapag ganito, you can just use the, ito yun, collection item na, ano ba ito? Wait lang. Kaya more specific dun kasi ang dami nun. Kasi ito, tignan mo, hindi naman nag-over. Ito lang. So first item, I think yung pangalawa. Ito hindi rin. Ito rin. That's good. So I think, ito yun. Itong part yun. After nung avatar, LI, wait lang. Secondary content. Yeah, this one. Okay. So I think this one. Ito yun. So siya yung merong H4 na item. I think. Ito yun. So meron siyang H4 na item. So you just need to put a collection header, collection with the header. Tapos yung LI nyo is like this one. So parang siya yung output na ito. Alright? Yung UL para makapag-create ka ng box. Okay? Tapos yung nag-hover na yun, nag-highlights, it's just only an A tag na merong class of collection item. So it's already components na. Okay? Na etong class na to, dinevelop na yung program, yung collection item na yun, na hindi natin nakita kung paano niya ginawa. Just to hover itong line na yun. So I would suggest, so sino ba yung nag-question na yun? Si Jan, no? So, I have a lesson for kasi part siya ng creative web design. Well, the good thing about yung gagawin ko is I'm going to upload lahat nung lesson ko for the past mga classes ko dun sa YouTube so that you can able to see kung paano yung yung mga components na yun kasi it's a part of web designing. So, yung ginagawa natin is more in being an engineer instead of yung pagde-design lang na ginagamit natin is yung available na components.
Okay, sir.
Alright. So basically,
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's good, no. So I will upload it para at least for you to at least makita kung paano. And of course, meron din dito. So kasama yun sa lesson ko. Meron yan dito sa sa documentation. Kasi yung mga developer, we always parang ba to? Dependent on the documentation. Alright? So, kung paano ginagawa. So, for example, ito, kung paano ginagawa. Nandito siya. So, I think yung na yun, yung lesson na yun is nasa collection yun siguro eh. So, kindly browse this, ibigay ko na lang din sa inyo yung link. Alright. So, sinisipon na ako. And share ko sa inyo. Pero, once na, habang hindi pa habang hindi pa na-upload. Alright? So, you can read the documentation. Right. So, yeah. So, I hope that, nasagot yung tanong and we can proceed, no? So, I will, cut this tutorial or this lesson, then we're going to create another one.